Barron will be this country's first homeschool shooter. Wow, what an appalling joke. 5 seconds on Google, and she would have seen that he's not being educated at home. Plus, if anyone ever gives him any trouble, I'm sure his dad will just make them disappear. You know, Barron Trump looks to me like the kind of 10-year-old who still breastfeeds. He just gives off that vibe and, really, who could blame him if he does? Would you want to give that up? Look, Barron, if you ever see this somehow by random chance, it's just a joke. We can still be friends, right, little guy? Yeah, high five. Okay, maybe not a high five, but I'm sure if someone helps hold your hand in place, I could shake it. Good thing I'm not some sort of writer or comedian, or saying stuff about a kid like that could get me in trouble. There would be tens of thousands of people calling for me to be fired, I'd be suspended by my employer, and my social media presence would be reduced to nothing more than a monument to how much of a little bitch I am for apologizing for trying to make people laugh. Should anyone be this upset with society's boundary pushers for pushing such a universally respected limit? Jokes that target kids unsettle a lot of people regardless of their culture, politics, and whatever else would normally divide people's judgments. To anyone who's into the idea of crossing lines, this makes for a very big target indeed, so it's only natural that jokers are going to go for it. It's practically irresistible. Add to that a spotlight on a notoriously sensitive president's child, and it would be weird if people didn't take a shot at it. Presidents' kids are normally seen as extra off-limits because of the situation they're in through no choice of their own. They're children with unique pressures I couldn't imagine. Yeah, it's real mean to make them a target of mockery, for sure. Still, getting too upset about it doesn't make sense to me. And if you do, you kind of throw away your own ability to ever say you were just making an attempt at comedy. So you should be trampled if you ever mess up and you take that position. But having said all that, if you're going to make them, jokes about Barron are kind of like saying, "Come at me, Trump." They are a challenge to an authority who's made the implication that he might be interested in shutting some people up. It's like waving a red flag. Here you go, Trump. Here's a joke that might pierce your paper-thin skin that a lot of people would side with you on in saying it's unacceptable. What you gonna do, big guy? You gonna take notice of me? Because of that, I think backing off and apologizing once you've done it is really irresponsible. Either don't tell the very obviously line-stepping joke, or stand by it and take your lumps. If you want to play the game, you've got to be in a position where you can play it right. For example, if people get upset about the start of my video, that'd be great. Way I'm set up, outrage can only benefit me. I doubt I will be so lucky though. Anyway, what I'm saying is, by making a joke and then saying it's inexcusable, you're doing the opposite of what I want to see comedy doing. You are actively making the window of acceptable speech contract. If you're gonna use a platform to say shit that upsets people, you've gotta have balls, or I'm gonna have to ask you to kindly piss off instead of becoming a case study that can be used to dictate where the limit in comedy is. Someone else makes a joke about Barron. Far better than my ones, and far more offensive than my ones too. Let's say they're real side destroyers. Let's say they're absolute art. Now, people can get outraged and point to spineless pseudo-rebels' apologies as a precedent for what should be done. So, fuck you, Katie Rich. Next time, keep it zipped if you're just going to pussy out afterwards. This is one of those things that really activates my trap card. I've gone from 0 to 100 mad in under 5 seconds, and my almonds have been thoroughly activated. Stop sabotaging speech. Yes, it's important to think before you speak. Some, probably most, would decide they don't really want to rip on a 10-year-old in the first place. That's why people who cross these kinds of lines stand out in the first place. But you've also got to think really hard before you try to undo what you said as well. Speech can come with consequences, and they don't stop at you. Apologizing to take the heat off after an edgy tweet flops will make your life easier, but who knows what damage the apology itself might do to everyone else and their freedom to say what they want. As usual, though, that's just another one of my harmful opinions.